For those history buffs out there, or anyone who paid passing attention during their high school history classes, you've probably heard of the Great Chain of Being. It was originally derived by Plato, Aristotle, and several other contemporaries of the time who, quite honestly, I would just butcher their names, so not even going to try. But the idea was fully fleshed out during the Middle Ages. Now, the Great Chain of Being divides entities into a hierarchy, with God being at the top, then flowing down from there to the angels, humanity, animals, plants, and then minerals. Now, this philosophy heavily influenced the laws and societal structure of what eventually became America when it was first being colonized by Europeans seeking freedom from religious laws and persecution in the New World. In an attempt to establish their own colonies with their own rules, laws, and social structures, this philosophy became quite self-evident. Societal and political norms were derived from this hierarchical system, whatever. And it was used as a tool to keep political power in the hands of certain individuals. Now, recognizing this fact, later governments and governmental documents acknowledged the hypocrisy and adjusted the laws and social structures to be more equitable. When the United States finally formed its Constitution, the founders attempted to remove religion and its influences, as well as this artificial hierarchy, from the system of governance. They did a fairly good job, but the document was far from perfect. So since then, we've been drafting and ratifying amendments to address further systematic inequalities. Now, I'm not going to say that the Constitution and all its amendments make for a perfect document, but at this time, it is clearly not a document whose foundation revolves around the Great Chain of Being. This concept of a social hierarchy is complete bullshit. I could understand an argument that there is an economic hierarchy. The more money you have, the more power you have. But something like race or gender or religion, it doesn't relegate you to a certain slot in that hierarchy. And while upward mobility is easier for some than others, it's not based on some institutional statute that's racist or sexist. And yet, somehow, people are still caught up with this idea of a social hierarchy. I was watching a video on YouTube the other day, and just let me show you a little bit.
So does anyone ever get this feeling that being a person of colour and told that society dictates that you're less than a white person is a big old fat racist slap in the dick? Why even try? You're a woman. You're black. The system is fucking you. You can't succeed.
So once I own my own business, I'm going to be making as much as I want to, right? There's
it's successful as your business will take you.
Yeah, so where's that happen at? Where am I getting paid less? That's what I want to know.
Believe it or not, there are outside forces you have to fight against, as like I said, a black male here in America.
Yeah.
Did you hear Blue Shirt's annoyance to that response?
Yeah.
I don't blame him. How condescending.
Now, your views or your, how you see things might be taken out of context. They might be taken as like aggressive, as you having a problem with your place in the social construct, the social hierarchy.
Right.
And as you should. But people that are privileged won't take you seriously because of that. They won't take you as seriously as, say, a white male because they have a social status that they can speak on things openly and normally and it won't be stigmatized. Like, what do they have to be angry about? They're on the top. Like us, we look like we're whining.
God, are you fucking kidding me? Here, this whiny-ass SJW has the perfect chance to explain how the man is keeping minorities down. Instead, he just asserts that there is a social hierarchy, tough titties for us. I am so fucking tired of this listen and believe bullshit. You can't just make some radical statement like, there is a mysterious force that looms over society, oppressing minorities, and it's called the social hierarchy, without actually providing some sort of evidence for this. And this is the fucking foundation, like the very bedrock on which all of these outrageous SJW claims are based on these days. No rational person legitimately believes that this social hierarchy is a real fucking thing. The only people who use the social hierarchy to describe the status quo are the SJWs who claims it's oppressing them. They can't identify laws which reinforce this claim. They can't point to a social structure which coerces people into following this idiotic agenda. Their only evidence is, I don't know, the patriarchy. Some hypothetical entity which can't even be specifically identified. We are living in an age of political regression. Political and social philosophies that were rejected and replaced long ago because they were racist and they were sexist and they did create an artificial hierarchy whose sole purpose was to perpetuate those in power and subjugate the minority, are once again emerging. But these ideas aren't championed by the white man to maintain their power. These concepts are being used by the SJWs to perpetuate their state of victimhood. For them, creating and sustaining a victim class is the only way they can drive that special treatment which they so want and feel like they deserve. SJWs don't want equality, because if they had equality, they wouldn't deserve special treatment. Without their special treatment, they would have to compete on the same playing field as everyone else, and then they'd have no one to blame for their failure. If a woman doesn't get a job she applies for, it's because of the patriarchy. If a man doesn't get a job he applies for, it's because he wasn't qualified. If a woman takes home less pay over the course of her life, it's not because she worked fewer hours or because she worked in a lower paying profession. It's because of the patriarchy. If a man makes less money than another man, it's because he didn't work as hard. If a black man can't obtain political representation or be elected to a political office, like the fucking president of the United States, for example, it's because the white man is keeping him down. If a white man can't obtain political office, it's because they were unqualified or undereducated. SJWs want to bring back the social hierarchy and implement it into society so that they have a reason to fail. They want society to agree with this out-of-date structure because they can be victims and receive special treatment. SJWs don't want equality. They want special treatment. If you want to be part of the solution, the next time someone tries to tell you that the social hierarchy is keeping them down, just tell them they're fucking ignorant, prejudiced assholes and walk away. Let them go be special snowflakes somewhere else. Well, those are my musings on the great chain of being and social hierarchy. Hope you all enjoyed. The video clip from earlier came from Sugar Tits video, 2 Dudes, 1 Cup, Feminist Crap, Part 1. It's a great video. I have a link for you in the description. Definitely check it out. She's also coming out with Part 2. Well, probably by the time you've seen this, she already has. I don't really know how talking about linear time works when doing YouTube stuff. Sorry. But anyways, thank you all for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. But most importantly, have a great night.